Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this live, not life, life as well. Okay, I'm just checking. Yeah, we are live on YouTube as well, and Facebook and Instagram. I'll start presenting myself. Who doesn't know me? I'm Thelma Fieldweit. I'm a raw detox coach, and I help women, especially women, losing weight in a natural way without using medicine or anything unnatural. And today in our life, we're going to be talking about how can we reverse stomach acid reflux. I'll tell you just now why I chose this theme. But yeah, this will be the theme for today. So if you are struggling with acid reflux, this will be a very good life for you. Or if you know someone that struggles with that, you can also listen to it or send to them, take notes or just forward to them so they can benefit from it. So, why did I choose this topic? Is because many that struggle with overweight issues, they come to have acid reflux at one point or another. Some have developed a chronic state of acid reflux, so it's like every day they have it, especially after the meal, but can also be any time. But first of all, we need to understand what is this stomach acid reflux? What is it doing to us if perhaps you are not so familiar with it? So it can be also called GERD, like GERD. In other words, gastro, because it has to do with our digestive, gastroesophagus, because it has to do with esophagus, the burning of the esophagus, reflux, so it's coming back up, reflux disease. That's how it can also be called. But most people use acid reflux or stomach acid reflux. So people sense burning, or they have a burning sensation, and many times it's called also as heartburn. They have heartburn, and maybe you've seen on TV, on advertisements, this is one of the medicines that they sell a lot in pharmacy, and it's not many times you don't need a prescription, some of this heartburn medicine, because it's so common that people have this. So you see on TV in the ads, they always put like a red burning kind of flame around here, because that's where is sitting the pain. That's why it's called heartburn, because people tend to associate with the heart, right? It's burning here and the heart is here. So that's also called heartburn. So people have this burning sensation, this pain, and if you never experience this, maybe it's difficult for you to understand, but it's really, really painful. And it can, the pain can be constant. It's not like a pain that comes and goes. And especially after eating, so many people are kind of scared of eating. Every time they eat, especially at night, they think about, oh, I'm gonna get that pain, so it also causes anxiety because of that. So, like I said, people with overweight issues tend to feel more this pain and struggle more with this. And of course, is related because overweight issues is a sign that something is not well in the body. So, of course, it can come other issues from it. Now, Now, it's important that you understand that what I'm talking about here in this live, what I'm discussing, and also in my channel, and the content I bring, is not any treatment. This is not a treatment or cure for any disease you have. Why do I say that? It's because it's very important that you understand that we cannot cure or treat, but our body can heal. It seems to be the same, right? But it's not. And it's because we need the tools, we need the information. That's why I'm here giving you the information and the tools, from my knowledge, my expertise, but also my own experience and others that have been helping, that your body can do the work. So once your body is in a condition, is in an environment that you allow, that you create, it's able to heal itself from uneases it might have, so this ease, so it's an unease that your body is experiencing. So this is very important, you understand here. This is not a treatment, not a cure. Okay. All right. Now, why do I say that it's possible to reverse this issue? Is exactly because I have experienced that uh, on my clients. I had few clients that been struggling with acid reflux, and especially one client that I want to bring here her experience. She also struggled with overweight issues for many years, but acid reflux has always been present in her life. And she kind of already knew that after the meal she would have pain. So she many times would avoid eating certain foods, foods that she enjoyed in the evening, especially. But still, the pain would come. And she struggled with that for many years. She tried some natural remedies. People used to say, oh, you have to drink cold milk if you have pain. She would drink also magnesium milk, and still she would have that pain. And of course, she'd been going to the specialists, health specialists, and they were addressing with different medications, to a point that she went to a specialist of the gastro, and he took many tests, exam, endoscopy, where they put a camera inside you. It's a terrible thing. It's really, I haven't done it, but just to see being done or to read how it's really, oh, you don't want that inside you. But that's one way many specialists use to see what's going on inside, and they try to see, um, and yeah, so she went through all these things. And at the end, the specialist said to her, either you operate, which there's no guarantee whatsoever that this will go away, or you go on medicine for life. And she, of course, she didn't want to operate. And just to explain a bit operation, why would they operate that? Because we're talking about the acid coming back up. Why operation? So it is said by such specialists that this is the esophagus, right? If you can see me. So down here, a little bit more down, let me stand up, you see, yeah, a little bit more down here, where the start of the lower part of the esophagus, there is a little muscle that does something like this. It's like it's moving. And they say that because that muscle is very, like, it's not doing its job, it's not strong enough, it's like uh, it's kind of starting closing too late. So by the time, the wrong time, actually, the time it's supposed to be closed is open, so then allows the acid to go through. Well, if that is the case, the operation is supposed to put something around the um, the muscle, this little muscle, in order to keep it a little bit closer to avoid the acid to come. Well, this doesn't really solve the problem of the acid coming up, right? But it's a preventative, they call, to fix, or not to fix because it doesn't fix, but to prevent, and perhaps the person has less acid coming up, so less pain. So this is something they suggested, but she didn't want to open, herself and up and do that. Besides, operation always involves other side effects. So she said, no, I prefer to go through medication. And they gave her the medication. I'll just drink some tea. And this medication, he said, is for life. You take this every day, sometimes 2 times a day, depends on how much pain you have, and you do it before each meal. So she started taking the medication. By the way, this medication is very expensive, especially if your insurance is not covering. Not all insurance, if you do have insurance, not all of them cover this medication. And it's not easy to access depending where you live. And she lived in a place that they didn't have access to that, in a country didn't have access to it. So she had to travel. When she traveled, she would buy a lot, or she would ask somebody to buy for her. So you can already see how difficult it was for her, not only to afford it, she could afford, but still was expensive, but also to find it. But she continued with this for many years, and she was living by, sometimes she would have pain, some days she would forget to take medication, but then she would go and take it. Or perhaps she would be off the medication sometime because it just finished, she couldn't get hold of it, but then she would experience pain. And this time went by until she came to me. And when she came to me, she didn't believe that that would be able to, get rid of the problem and stop taking medication. That was something she did not believe. And of course, you were told by a specialist this is impossible to reverse. And then we tried. And I said to her, in few weeks you feel much better, and you feel maybe no need to take the medication anymore. But of course, you should always consult with your doctor, and they are the ones putting you on the medication. They should be the ones taking you out, right? Anyway, she followed my method, she followed my protocol and made the necessary changes, and she didn't feel the pain. But she was still a bit scared of, oh, should I go off the medication? What if the pain comes back? So she was still taking the medication just in case, she said. But then after a couple of months, she stopped with the medication and was no pain. And this went for years, about 4 years, I think now. And she got rid of the problem, right? By following my method and making the necessary changes in her lifestyle, which we're going to go a little bit deeper into it just now. Now, what is very interesting, and I want you to take note of that, she told me not long ago, a few weeks ago, we spoke, and she said she was on a holiday. And during the holiday, sometimes we get a little bit lost with our habits, with our routines. And she said for a few weeks she's been eating and living differently from what she normally does. And she said the pain came back and she got scared. And what did she do? She went to buy the medicine. Of course, the medicine would cut the symptom. And then she said she went back to her um, new lifestyle, right? Like she went back to the methods I gave her to follow, and the pain was gone. So there must be a lifestyle change. And this is what I keep on telling you here, um, when I talk to you in my content. This is not a magic pill. This has to be a consistent, everyday living. This should be a new way of living if you want to really get rid of things and reverse things, right? So I just thought was very interesting for you to listen to this story and to see how things can happen, how it's possible to reverse even so-called chronic issues, but you need to stick to the methods, right? Now, what are the advantages of reversing naturally? No operation involved, no medicine. Acid reflux. What is the advantages, or what are the advantages? So one advantage is, no doubt, is lifestyle quality. So your life quality improves so much, right? Don't have to worry about having pain. You feel more happy, less anxiety, right? You do your things without any concern. Second advantages is you avoid side effects. Any medication, any medical procedure comes with its side effects. This doesn't happen in the natural world. There's no such things because nature is balanced. So, one side effect from medication is headaches, nausea, and also allergies, constipation, and many other things. You can just do a little Google, you find all those side effects. But there is also something you avoid, which is an advantage, is serious health issues. Yes, serious health issues can come from medication for acid reflux. And we're talking about something like kidney damage, really bad kidney damage. Many medications, in fact, they tend to spoil your kidneys. You can just read the paper that comes with your in the box with your medicine. You see all the side. They have to tell you, you see all those side effects. Another thing is bone fractures. So your bones become very brittle, and also polyps or tumors can evolve. So this is very serious. And when a specialist gives you such medication, they should tell you of the side effects. But not often we read the paper inside because we are so worried and concerned and in pain, right? We want to get rid of that pain. And that's when we have to really consider which way I'll go. Will I go the conventional way, or will I try to do something natural that goes with my body rules, follows my body rules. Another advantage is that you save money. Imagine all that money my client was spending in this medication. Not the stress, not to count the stress to get it because she couldn't get in the country she was living. So that's another advantage. Now, you might say, like, but Telma, my doctor says I'll never reverse this. This is something I have to live for the rest of my life. The medication, I cannot stop. If I stop the medication, the pain comes. Mm, that's a very good worry or Something to think about, right? Mm, Now, I'll explain to you why do I say you can reverse acid reflux. And for that, we need to understand acid base balance that happens in our body. How do we understand that? So, if you remember your chemistry class, perhaps you remember we talked about something called pH. And pH is a way that we use to measure the acidity level in our body, in food, in anything, in the air, the liquids, in the water. So the pH balance, which has a range from 1 to 14, okay, 1 to 14, 1 or 7 being the neutral. So anything below 7, it's acidic. Anything above 7 to 14 is alkaline. Okay. So now what happens is our body is more alkaline. And that's something we need to understand. Our body is towards alkalinity. So it's around 7 comma something. It likes to be on the in the alkaline side. And then we have to consider all the fluids. That's why we say that. We have to consider all the fluids in our body. Our body has different fluids. We have saliva, urine, we have in the intestines, and we have the blood. All of them are alkaline, apart from the stomach. And that's where it gets interesting. Why is our stomach acidic? It's quite acidic. It has hydrochloric acid, HCl. Yeah, don't have to worry about the chemistry there. But just so you know, from all the fluids in our body, the stomach is the acidic part. Why is it acidic in the stomach? Because of the protein. Because protein requires an acidic environment in order to be digested. But that's only for some time in the stomach, because right after when it goes to intestines, it gets alkaline again because our body is alkaline. So that hydrochloric acid cannot survive too long, or we cannot survive to that because it burns us. Hydrochloric acid is around 2 to 3 in this scale. I just said the pH scale. So it's really, really acidic. You cannot put hydrochloric acid on your skin like this. You burn yourself. So now you can imagine what happens when you have acid reflux. You have this 2 to 3 in the pH scale coming up to your esophagus. That burns you. And if you don't do anything, what will happen? You start burning all this area, you start having inflammation, and you can get ulcers and many other issues. So we want to be away from hydrochloric acid. But the beauty and the amazing thing is that our body is so clever that it has this very dangerous acid in us. But when we are in balance, when we are healthy, when our body is in what is called homeostasis, in equilibrium, in balance, it is able to deal with this dangerous, otherwise dangerous acid in a very good way to serve us. So we do need this acid to be there to deal with protein, right? But still, we need it to be just there. We don't want it to go anywhere else. So now the question is, how do we how are we able to reverse when the body is out of balance? You have to bring the body back to balance. That's the only thing you have to do. You have to remove the reason that makes this acid come up. And I want to give you a little example. I have a cup of tea here. See if you can see the tea without I drop. Okay, maybe it's not possible. But imagine this. I'm pouring tea here. I know this is so much tea this can take. In fact, I should not put right to the border here. If I do any small movement, it will drip, right? So, what do I have to do? I have to use common sense. What is common sense? I want to drink tea. Yes, I have this limit. I should put it to a point that when I drink, when I move, this is not dripping. This is common sense, right? So the same with the um, keeping the acid at its place in the stomach. I don't want to make the levels of acidity in the stomach come more or above the limit of my stomach coming above. But what are things that can make this happen? Because that is the tool. We need to understand and we need to identify uh, the cause. First, we need to identify the cause so that we can remove the cause of the problem. And this is the right way to do it. The wrong way to do it is by taking medication or things that simply cover up the cause, remove the symptoms. Without the symptoms, we don't feel anything, we think we are fine, and we continuing doing the same things that cause that acid to come up. So, of course, this will just be a snowball, right? And again comes together with those side effects that we just spoke, and then a small problem becomes a big problem. So the right way is to identify the cause, and from there we can remove the cause. So if we understood that our body is alkaline, right, we understood that all the fluids in the body are alkaline, what should we do? Shouldn't we keep in the alkaline range? What do you think? Hmm? You can comment here if you want. Shouldn't we be closer to the alkaline in everything we do? Because again, we need to understand what are the actions, the activities, the lifestyle habits, the foods, the drinks that makes us become more acidic or that makes us become more alkaline. Once we get this picture, we can choose better, right? So now I can give you one small step that you can start today that will help you become more alkaline and that will help you in your journey to reverse acid reflux. So, one small step for you is avoid drinking alcoholic drinks and caffeine drinks. So, alcoholic, anything that has alcohol, right? Plain and simple. Why? Because it just increases the acidity in the stomach. And I don't want to go very deep today why alcohol is not good for you. And no, it's not the moment to talk about that. But this is one small step you can do. Another thing is caffeine drinks. Caffeine drinks, coffee, of course. Besides coffee, you have certain teas, or if not the majority of teas, that contain caffeine. Even green tea contains caffeine. Chocolate contains caffeine. So, caffeine, after digestion of coffee, we get very acidic environment in our body, and this is not good for your acid reflux. So if you can avoid these two drinks or foods that contain alcohol or caffeine, you are starting a small step that will make a big change into your life. Of course, there is other things like the food You can do changing the food to more alkaline foods, which are the plant-based foods, and many other small things you can do to change. But for today, I want you to start with this small step, because you want to start, this is the most important, you want to start doing things that will bring you to the alkaline side. And again, remember, in order for you to reverse something, you need to keep doing that. This is not a cure that you do it for a short amount of time and then, oh, it's gone, then I can go back to my old habits. That's not how it works. So we need to commit to a health if we want health, right? Now, I hope this live was clear for you. We did talk about, sorry, I'm still coming out of my flu symptoms, as you can hear my voice. But yeah, just doing a little summary what we talked about in this live. We talked about what is acid reflux. We understood this burning. Why is it burning? Because the hydrochloric acid is super acidic in the pH range, right? 2 to 3. And then we also spoke about I gave you the example of my client that had acid reflux, how she was able to reverse by changing her lifestyle and the way she was living, to the point that she stopped taking medication. We also spoke about how the right way of doing it and the wrong way of doing it. So we want to focus in the cause. We don't want to focus in the symptoms, and also the association between being overweight and acid reflux, again because of the lifestyle choices. That's why it's important for us to take overweight problem as really a this is, again, I like to use this way. This is because it's really an unease of the body. So we want to bring our body back to balance, back to ease. We want to live easy lives, right? In that sense. And also, we spoke about what you can do, small steps you can do in order to reverse uh, this condition. Of course, you is not simply stopping alcohol and caffeine. There is many other steps, but for today, one small step, it will make possible for you to start. So if you have any questions and you would like to know more, just write below in the comments, whether you are on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube. Feel free to write below and to ask me, or you can send me a private message and I would be happy to guide you and help you. Thank you for today, and I wish you a beautiful day. Today is Wednesday, so we have still the whole week or half of the week. Thank you. Take care.